is known for its gross national happiness index. And in a 2005 government survey, 97% of the population said they were happy. But a tourism slump is threatening to bring down that figure.
This South Asian country, Bhutan, is famous for its unique approach to measuring national success. In 2005, the government conducted a survey that showed that 97% of its population were happy. But now, almost 2 decades after the survey and with fewer tourists visiting the country, there is an unfamiliar emotion brewing. With a very poor cash flow in the country, can the country reach its happiness goal? Join us as we reveal how this country has just shocked the entire world. A land like no other. Bhutan, also known as the land of the Thunder Dragon, stands as a wonder to the outside world, famous for its connections to dragons and known to be one of the happiest countries in the world. Bhutan is home to secrets that leave tourists in wonder every time. These secrets are what make Bhutan so interesting and attractive to millions of tourists. One of the tourists confirmed that for a long time, she has always wanted to visit Bhutan and is happy to finally visit because it is a wonderful country with secret traditions, and the Indigenes were always sweet and kind. This isolated island holds some really deep practices. Marijuana, which many people know as a drug substance, is used in farming in Bhutan. For the farmers, it is a special tool. This is because they have devised a creative way to use it to feed livestock, especially their pigs. According to them, it makes them happy and makes their pigs bigger, which brings about profits for farmers. The best part is that it is natural without any expensive feed supplement. But marijuana isn't just about fattening pigs in Bhutan. It also helps farmers in the sense that it is a kind of plant that grows naturally without needing much attention. Farmers do not need to buy pesticides or fertilizers to help them adapt to the soil conditions. Marijuana grows well in the isolated city, despite the different kinds of weather. According to them, by using this plant, farmers can reduce the impact of chemical use on the environment and protect the beautiful landscape of Bhutan. Also, the fibers from the root are strong and can be used to make textiles, which means farmers can sell materials to companies that make traditional Balinese fabrics. This serves as an extra source of income for farmers. Another interesting fact about Bhutan is the use of phallic symbols in Bhutanese culture. This phase is seen as a symbol of good luck, fertility, and protection. Tale of the Divine Madman. This strange tradition started with a man called the Divine Madman. He was a Buddhist monk in the 15th century who used funny and abnormal methods to teach Buddhism. This method stretched to using a phallus, which he called the thunderbolt of flaming wisdom, to fight evil spirits. According to him, his phallus was used to turn these bad spirits into defenders of the Dharma. Nowadays, visitors might be surprised to see symbols of the phallus painted on the outside of houses. They even see 3D figures of the phallus hanging from roofs or carved into wooden pillars. The symbols are thought to ward off evil spirits and bring good luck. With the display of phallus images around Bhutan, there is not so much left for the imagination to create how intense the phallus tradition is in Bhutan. Artists in Bhutan use different colors to design and make paintings of the phallus. These phallic symbols also play a big part in Bhutan festivals and rituals, and one of the biggest festivals is the Phallus Festival, held at Chimilang Monastery, dedicated to the Divine Madman. This festival is lively and colorful, filled with music and laughter. Interested visitors from all over who are curious about Bhutan's open celebration of the male sexual organs come to see them parade the street proudly, holding huge phallic symbols, wearing masks, and dancing in wild costumes. The phallus also features as a long-standing part of Bhutan's craftsmanship and sculpture culture, appearing in everything from tiny amulets to large sculptures as a form of expressing creativity. These phallics are sometimes given as gifts to the newlyweds to wish them a happy marriage, and most times they are given as souvenirs at weddings. The Bhutanese believe happiness and economic growth are not mutually exclusive. They say gross national happiness can enhance economic growth by making it sustainable. It is one of the few countries that actively measures its people's happiness through a policy called the Gross National Happiness Index. This is an intentional new index worth learning about. The world's strangest policy. Bhutan prioritizes collective happiness over wealth. The GNH is integrated into major government policies, guiding decisions that relate to improving quality of life, preserving culture, conserving the environment, and promoting good governance. It was introduced by King Jigme Singh Wangchuck in the 1970s. Gross national happiness is based on 4 pillars: sustainable development, cultural preservation, environmental conservation, and governance. Their happiness measure can be broken down into 9 areas: well-being, physical health, education, leisure time, cultural diversity, governance quality, community strength, ecological health, and living standard. They work with all these factors to create a general picture of a fulfilling life. They demonstrate how modernization can coexist with cultural values while maintaining harmony and diversity. The governor takes the lead in preserving Bhutanese traditions, which include dress, language, music, and custom. These cultural elements are actively celebrated and incorporated into daily life, hence keeping the Bhutan identity strong and intact. Until the 1960s, Bhutan remained largely closed to and uninfluenced by the outside world. The result is a nation that can now boast the best preserved traditional culture anywhere on our planet. And of course, this is one of the main attractions of a visit to Bhutan. Some of the many fascinating traditions that exist in the country make it one of the most unique and exciting places to visit in the world. What are these traditions? Life of an average Bhutan citizen. Jabdrung Ngawang Namgyel introduced a set of etiquette known as Driglam Namja that seeps into many facets of the life of a Bhutanese. This traces its roots to Buddhist practices, especially those in the secular realm. It includes a comprehensive guide starting from the individualistic level, such as behavioral conduct and dress code, to state-level administrative and monastic domains. It is not customary to shake hands. However, people do so, which is one fine example of the effect of modernization. Bowing would be the more appropriate choice when greeting someone. This too has a level of sorts. A person is required to bow deep if the next person is from a higher rank, a tad less for a lower rank, and so on. The code of conduct requires every citizen to be respectful of their surroundings, especially their elders and seniors, to show devotion to the institution of marriage and family, to show dedication to civic duty, and many more. Pointing of fingers or feet, walking over holy items, and touching heads are unbecoming of a cultured person and will not be tolerated. No harsh punishments are imposed, but reprimands will be in effect. Shoes and hats are not allowed inside the temple, as are shouting and clicking photos. The wildlife component that leaves visitors entertained is the animal with the body resembling a cow and the head resembling a goat, which is the national animal of Bhutan. This creature can be found wandering the highlands of the eastern Himalayas. There is also the binturong. This creature has the characteristics of different animals without truly belonging to any one of them. Visitors are often fascinated by its eyes, which appear to hold profound wisdom about the forest. The Paro Valley is also a place every Bhutanese person wants to visit at least once in their life, as it is believed to be where Buddhism started in Bhutan, with the monk riding on the back of a tiger. The Pumazong is also a great place to check for tourists. It is the second oldest and second largest, and it is known as a place of great happiness. In the olden days, Bhutan was a place of many names. Some folks called it Kambirasi or Potente, while others called it Mon, which means southern Tibet. Back then, before the 17th century, Bhutan was like a bunch of small kingdoms, always fighting, haven for man and nature. Long, long ago, before anyone wrote things down, people lived in Bhutan. They made tools out of stones, used elephants, and built big stone structures. Some experts think this happened around 2000 BC, which was a super long time ago. There's a story that talks about a place called Lomon or Monyul, which might have been around from about 500 BC to AD 600. It's called the Dark Land because it was kind of mysterious, and it might have been where the Monpa people lived, who are from Bhutan, and a place called Arunachal Pradesh in India. In old writings from Bhutan and Tibet, you can find names like Sandalwood Country and Country of Four Approaches that might be talking about this time. In the Paro Valley, there's a big building called a Dzong that was built in 1646. That's a really long time ago. Buddhism, a religion, came to Bhutan in the 7th century AD. there was a king from Tibet named Songtsen Gampo who became a Buddhist and built 2 temples in Bhutan. One was in Bumthang, in the middle of Bhutan, and the other was near Paro. Buddhism became very important in Bhutan after that, especially around 746, when a king named Sindhu Raja came from India and set up a government in Bumthang. In a museum in Paro, one can see cannons that were brought by Portuguese people a long time ago. Another Dzong, which is like a big fortress, was built in 1659 in a place called Trashigang. But there's a problem with knowing all of Bhutan's history because a big fire destroyed a lot of old records in 1827. By the 10th century, religion started to mix with politics in Bhutan, and different groups of Buddhists had power, supported by different Mongol leaders. Once upon a time, around the 14th century, the big dynasty ruling Bhutan fell apart. After that, different groups of Buddhists started competing with each other to be the most important in both politics and religion. This lasted for a while until around the 16th century, when the Drukpa lineage became the top dog. Then a guy named Ngawang Namgyal came along. He was from Tibet and had to run away because of some trouble there. He made Bhutan strong by building big, strong forts called Dzongs and making rules called the Tsa Yig to keep everyone in line. In 1627, some European guys, Estevão Katsela and João Cabral, visited Bhutan on their way to Tibet. They met Ngawang Namgyal and even offered to help him fight Tibet, but he said no thanks. After staying for almost 8 months, one of them wrote a long letter about their trip. When Ngawang Namgyal died in 1651, nobody knew for 54 years. After a while, Bhutan got into fights again. In 1711, they went to war against the Raja of Kokbihar, and later, Tibet tried to attack them in 1714, but it didn't work out for Tibet. Some people think Bhutan was influenced by a dynasty called the Yuan dynasty, which was around a long time ago. They think this is because Bhutan has some things in common with them, like culture and religion. In the 1700s, Bhutan decided to take over another kingdom called Kokbihar. But in 1772, the leader of Kokbihar asked for help from the British East India Company. With their assistance, they kicked out the Bhutanese and even attacked Bhutan in 1774. They made a deal where Bhutan had to go back to how it was before 1730. But things stayed tense, and they kept having small fights at the border with the British for the next 100 years. The fights got serious during the Duar War from 1864 to 1865. It was all about who would control a place called the Bengal Duars. Bhutan lost the war, and they had to sign a treaty called the Treaty of Sinchula with British India. As part of the deal, Bhutan had to give up the Duars to the United Kingdom and pay them some money. In the 1870s, there was a big fight for power between 2 valleys in Bhutan, Paro and Tongsa. This led to a civil war in Bhutan. But eventually, a guy named Ugyen Wangchuck, who was the governor of Trongsa, came out on top. He fought and won against his enemies and brought the country together after lots of fighting from 1882 to 1885. Then, in 1907, something really important happened. The people of Bhutan chose Ugyen Wangchuck to be their king. He was picked by important monks, government people, and leaders of big families. The British government said okay to this new king, and in 1910, Bhutan signed a treaty called the Treaty of Punakha with Britain. This treaty let Britain control Bhutan's outside relationships, but it didn't change much for Bhutan because they always had close ties with Tibet. When India got its independence from Britain in 1947, Bhutan was one of the first countries to say, "Yep, you're independent." Then in 1949, Bhutan signed another treaty, this time with India, which was just like the one they had with Britain. In 1953, King Jigme Dorji Wangchuck decided to make some changes to how Bhutan was run. He created something called the National Assembly, which had 130 people in it. This was meant to make the government more like a democracy. Then, in 1965, he formed a Royal Advisory Council, and in 1968, he formed a cabinet, which is a group of important leaders who help make decisions. In 1971, Bhutan joined the United Nations after being an observer for 3 years. After King Jigme Dorji Wangchuck passed away in 1972, His son Jigme Singye Wangchuck became king at just 16 years old. During the 1980s, Bhutan started a new plan called the Sixth Five-Year Plan. They wanted everyone in Bhutan to have a similar identity, so they made rules about how people should dress and behave. They wanted everyone to wear traditional clothes called the Go for men and the Kira for women. They also wanted to promote the use of the Dzongkha language, which is the national language of Bhutan. They stopped teaching Hindi and Nepali in schools to focus more on Dzongkha. In 1988, Bhutan did a big count of the people living in southern Bhutan. They were worried about people coming into the country illegally from India. To prove they were Bhutanese citizens, families had to show a tax receipt from 1958 or a certificate of origin from where they were born. This caused a lot of problems, and many people protested, asking for more rights and changes to the government. The government didn't like this and started calling protesters anti-national terrorists. They arrested many people without giving them a trial. Later, the government said there were over 100,000 illegal immigrants in southern Bhutan, and they forced many people out of the country, accusing them of violence. These people became refugees in camps in Nepal. Since 2008, some Western countries have helped resettle many of these refugees. Bhutan tries to protect its environment, and it is known for being peaceful. There are so many fascinating facts about this isolated island that make the world wonder and be in awe. What could these facts be? Wonders of Bhutan. One of the things that makes Bhutan special is how they manage traffic. Unlike big cities with traffic lights, Bhutan prefers a more personal touch. At major intersections, you'll find traffic police guiding cars with hand signals, giving you a glimpse into their close-knit and community-focused way of life. Bhutan's rich cultural heritage shines through its national dress code. Men wear a traditional outfit called Go, while women wear Kira. These colorful garments aren't just clothes. They're symbols of Bhutanese pride and tradition, worn with reverence in government offices, schools, and formal events. The Tiger's Nest Monastery is another iconic symbol of Bhutan. It sits on the edge of a cliff, surrounded by breathtaking scenery. Legend has it that Guru Rinpoche, a revered figure in Bhutanese Buddhism, arrived there riding on the back of a tigress, adding to its mystique and significance. Bhutan takes its citizens' health seriously, being the first and only country to completely ban the sale and production of tobacco products. This bold move reflects Bhutan's commitment to promoting a healthy lifestyle and ensuring the well-being of its people. Environmental conservation is a top priority for Bhutan. Since 1999, the country has banned plastic bags to protect its pristine natural beauty. By prioritizing sustainability, Bhutan sets an example for the world in environmental stewardship. Archery holds a special place in Bhutanese culture, going beyond just a sport to become a national obsession. Competitions showcase the incredible skill and accuracy of participants from across the country, highlighting the deep cultural bonds that unite Bhutanese society. Bhutan is home to over 2,000 monasteries and temples, each with its own special story and meaning. These places are often found in stunning settings, surrounded by beautiful landscapes, making them perfect for peaceful and spiritual experiences. In Bhutan, they're careful about how many tourists visit each year. This helps protect their culture and environment, keeping their country beautiful and authentic for visitors to enjoy. Did you know that Bhutan is sometimes called the land of the thunder dragon? That's because of the powerful storms that sweep through its valleys. People even believe these thunderstorms are the voices of dragons. The writing system in Bhutan, called Choki, is pretty special too. It's made up of 30 characters and is known for its graceful and flowing style. One of their most impressive natural features is Gangkhar Puensum, the highest unclimbed mountain in the world. Bhutan's government respects the beliefs of its people, who see this mountain as sacred, by not allowing climbing above a certain height. They also have a strict rule about raising the national flag on specific days. This flag represents unity and pride for the Bhutanese people, and they take it very seriously. Known as the Land of Fortresses, Bhutan is adorned with deedsongs, impressive fortress monastery complexes that serve as both religious and administrative centers. These majestic structures stand as testaments to Bhutan's rich architectural and cultural heritage. Bhutanese folklore includes tales of the Yeti, or Migoi, a mythical creature believed to roam the Himalayan mountains. The legend adds an air of mystery and intrigue to the region, captivating imaginations far and wide. They uphold strict regulations requiring all buildings, including modern structures, to adhere to traditional Bhutanese architectural styles. This commitment ensures the preservation of the country's unique aesthetics and cultural identity. This isolated island is deeply committed to conserving its natural beauty and wildlife. Hunting and fishing are prohibited, demonstrating Bhutan's dedication to protecting its diverse ecosystems and maintaining ecological balance. Due to its diverse elevations, Bhutan experiences all 4 seasons in a single day. It's common to start with a chilly morning, enjoy a warm afternoon, and end with a cold night, offering a unique and dynamic weather experience. Their national flag features a white dragon known as Druk, holding a jewel symbolizing the protection of Bhutan's wealth and the preservation of the country's spiritual traditions. Bhutan's national tree is the cypress, specifically the Himalayan cypress, adding to the country's scenic beauty and often holding religious significance. Paro Airport in Bhutan boasts one of the world's most challenging runways. Surrounded by towering peaks, pilots require special training to navigate this high altitude and steep approach. Bhutan is renowned for its exquisite hand-woven textiles, with each region featuring unique patterns and colors. Traditional weaving is an integral part of Bhutanese culture, showcasing the country's craftsmanship and heritage. The Yak Festival, held in the Ha Valley, celebrates the vital role of these hardy animals in Bhutan's rural life. It's a vibrant event featuring yak races, traditional sports, and cultural performances, offering a glimpse into Bhutanese traditions and festivities. The Chorten Kora Stupa, situated in eastern Bhutan, is a magnificent structure reminiscent of Nepal's famous Buddha Nath Stupa. A place of pilgrimage for Buddhists, it stands as a remarkable sight to behold. Lama Drukpa Kunli, known as the Divine Madman, is a legendary figure in Bhutanese history renowned for his unconventional teachings and distinctive approach to Buddhism. Bhutan boasts a rich abundance of medicinal plants, with their trade significantly contributing to the country's economy. These plants are utilized not only for traditional medicine, but also for export purposes. Deeply committed to the happiness and well-being of its citizens, Bhutan celebrates a national holiday called Gross National Happiness Day, dedicated to commemorating this commitment. Bhutan's diverse regions each have their own unique variations of the national script, adding richness and depth to the country's cultural diversity. Punakha Dzong, a majestic fortress monastery, houses the coronation throne of Bhutan's kings, serving as a significant historical landmark and a splendid example of Bhutanese architecture. Bhutan practices its unique form of astrology known as Che Thrim Dha, or 5 Sciences of Buddhist Metaphysics, which plays a crucial role in everyday life, from determining auspicious days for events to assessing personal compatibility. Television was introduced to Bhutan in 1999, marking a significant shift in the country's media landscape and contributing to the preservation of its distinct cultural identity. Bhutan is deeply committed to preserving its natural beauty, boasting several national parks and wildlife sanctuaries that are home to diverse flora and fauna, including the elusive snow leopard. Bhutan maintains a dress code for tourists visiting certain areas, particularly religious sites and government buildings, emphasizing modest attire to show respect for Bhutanese culture. Bhutan is home to an ancient suspension bridge called Tamchog Lhakhang, known for its unique construction with iron chains, providing a thrilling yet picturesque walk over the Paro Chu River. Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan, stands as one of the world's smallest capital cities, retaining a charming small-town atmosphere despite its role as the political and economic center of the nation. The Punakha Suspension Bridge ranks among the longest suspension bridges in Bhutan, offering both practical transport and breathtaking views of the surrounding landscape. The lunar Tibetan calendar in Bhutan follows the cycles of the moon and is deeply intertwined with Bhutanese Buddhism. It governs religious festivals and auspicious days for ceremonies, playing a vital role in the country's cultural and spiritual life. The Jomolhari Mountain Festival celebrates the cultural heritage of communities around Mount Jomolhari. It's a vibrant showcase of traditional music, dance, and food, offering a glimpse into Bhutan's rich cultural tapestry. Bhutan's postal system is distinctive and charming, with mail delivered by postmen on foot across challenging terrain. Each stamp is a small work of art, reflecting Bhutan's unique cultural identity. The Bhutan International Marathon takes participants through the stunning landscapes of the Paro Valley, offering a unique running experience amidst the Himalayas. The Institute of Zorig Chusum, also known as the Institute of 13 Traditional Arts, is dedicated to preserving Bhutan's traditional arts and crafts, including painting, wood carving, and sculpture. In Bhutan, people typically do not use surnames. Instead, they often include their place of origin or other identifiers when introducing themselves. The Great Buddha Dortenma statue in Thimphu is one of the largest sitting Buddha statues in the world, offering panoramic views of the valley. Thagzo, the art of weaving intricate patterns onto Bhutanese textiles, produces stunning fabrics used for clothing and ceremonial purposes, reflecting Bhutan's rich textile heritage. Traditional Bhutanese houses are architectural marvels built without nails, relying on intricate woodwork and joinery, showcasing Bhutanese engineering skills. Amajetsun Pema, known as Bhutan's Mother of the Nation, is revered for her philanthropic work, including education and healthcare initiatives. Palden Lamo, a revered deity in Bhutan, is seen as the protector of the country and its people, depicted riding a mule across a sea of blood. The Changlimithang Archery Ground in Thimphu is one of the largest archery fields in Bhutan, where enthusiastic crowds gather for archery competitions. Mebarcho, or the Burning Lake, is a sacred site where legend has it that Pema Lingpa discovered hidden treasures, attracting pilgrims seeking its mystical beauty. The blue poppy, Bhutan's national flower, symbolizes the country's unique and delicate natural beauty. Thimphu, Bhutan's capital, stands as one of the few world capitals without direct road access from other countries, adding to its unique charm and isolation. Bhutan's decision not to have a zoo reflects its commitment to wildlife conservation, preferring to preserve animals in their natural habitats. Bhutan's natural hot springs, known as chachus, are believed to have healing properties and are popular among both locals and tourists seeking relaxation and rejuvenation. Luensa de Dzong, known for its intricate woodwork and traditional Bhutanese architecture, stands as an architectural gem in a tranquil setting. Bhutan's colorful prayer flags, inscribed with Buddhist prayers and mantras, are believed to spread blessings to all beings, adding to the country's spiritual ambience. Bhutan's monarchy holds a special place in the hearts of its citizens, with the Bhutanese royal family highly revered and their photos adorning homes and businesses throughout the country. Bhutanese weddings are elaborate affairs involving several days of rituals and celebrations, with customs such as the exchange of the ceremonial scarf, changjep, symbolizing the union of the bride and groom. The Dance of the Black Hats is a powerful masked dance performed during Bhutanese festivals, often depicting stories from Buddhist mythology. These fascinating facets of Bhutan shed light on the country's rich cultural heritage, environmental stewardship, and enduring traditions, making it a truly captivating destination for travelers seeking authenticity and wonder. Thank you for watching. Comment to share what you think in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe to see more videos.